The tension in the air was suffocating as Vine and Jungkook stepped into their shared bedroom. The door shut down behind them with a soft thud, and an awkward silence followed. Jungkook stood still for a moment, his back against the door, watching as Vine moved around the room. She didn't speak, didn't even glance at his direction, as she absent mindedly fiddled with the edge of her dress. Jungkook let out a small, abused chuckle. Jungkook, you know it's not going to get any less awkward the longer you ignore me, he said casually, his hands sliding into his pockets. Jungkook, I'm not going anywhere. Vine's gaze flickered toward him, but she quickly looked away, feeling her face heat up. Vine, I'm not ignoring you, she said, trying to hide the discomfort in her chest. I'm just trying to process this. He raised an eyebrow and asked, process what? The fact that we're married now? Or that this isn't exactly what we planned? Vine sighed and walked toward the window. Staring out into the dark night, she whispered, both. I never wanted this. You're not even the one I was supposed to marry. Jungkook's expression softened slightly. You think I wanted this? I was supposed to be someone else's man, and not you. Vine didn't look at him, but she could hear the playful tone in his voice, the way he tried to mask his discomfort with sarcasm. Vine. So now we're both stuck in this mess. Great. Jungkook chuckled, the sound light and easy. He leaned against the edge of the dresser, watching her with an almost teasing gaze. Jungkook, you know you could at least try to enjoy the perks. I'm not all bad, he said, his lips curling into a grin. Vine rolled her eyes and turned back to face him, her arms crossing over her chest in a defensive gesture. Vine, I wasn't exactly hoping to enjoy anything with you. Jungkook's grin didn't falter. I get it. I get it. You're mad at me because I can't be the man of your dreams. He stepped closer, a bit too close for comfort, and she took a small step back instinctively. Vine, I'm mad at the whole situation. I don't even know why I'm here. This is like a nightmare, Jungkook. She shot back, her voice tinged with frustration. He shrugged nonchalantly, as if he didn't feel the weight of it at all. Jungkook, well, you're here now, and I'm here too. So why not try to make the best of it? Who knows, you might even start enjoying my company. Vine stared at him, exasperated. You're unbelievable. Jungkook leaned against the wall, his expression playful again. Jungkook, I've heard that before, but don't worry, I'm a patient man. I will wear you down eventually. Vine, not a chance. She muttered, glancing away as she felt her heart skip a beat. There was something disarmingly charming about his easy confidence, and despite herself, she found her pulse quickening a little when he shot that cocky grin. Jungkook, don't be so sure, he said, taking a slow step towards her, his voice lowered, as if sharing a secret. Jungkook, I'm very persuasive when I want to be. Vine shot him a suspicious look. What are you getting at? He leaned in closer, his face inches from hers, his breath warm against her skin. Jungkook, nothing at all. I'm just saying, the night doesn't have to be so tense. We could make it a little more fun. Jungkook, what do you think? He whispered. Vine pulled away, both startled and irritated. I'm not in the mood for games, Jungkook. Jungkook raised his hands in mock surrender. Okay, no games. he said with a soft chuckle. But I still think you're underestimating me. There's more to me than what you see. Wine. I just don't understand you. Wine replied flatly, her cheeks tinged with both frustration and a strange flutter in her chest. Jungkook, is that your way of saying you like me? He asked, his smile broadening. Wine glared at him. Hardly. Jungkook faked a hurt expression, placing a hand over his heart dramatically. Jungkook, ouch. That one stings, Wine. She didn't know how, but somehow her lips twitched, as if she were fighting the urge to laugh. She quickly masked a smile because she was still a bit awkward to smile around him. Wine. I'm not laughing, Jungkook, she said firmly, though the faintest trace of a smile tugged at her lips. He stepped back, his eyes shone. Jungkook, I will take that as progress. She definitely smiled this time. Seeing her, he smiled too. There was a moment of silence, and then Jungkook's expression turned more serious, though still with a playful edge. Jungkook, I know this isn't ideal. I'm not stupid, I get it. But that doesn't mean we can't try to make it easier on ourselves. We're in this together, right? Wine hesitated. It was strange. Part of her resented him for making everything so light, while another part of her appreciated how he was trying his best to ease the tension. She wasn't sure which side of him was the real one, the charming flirt or the guy who was trying to figure out how to make the night less unbearable. Fine, fine, she said after a long pause. But no more teasing, all right? Jungkook's eyes sparkled and he chuckled. No promises, he said, winking at her. The wink somehow made her stomach flutter in a way she didn't want to admit. She quickly turned away, trying to regain her composure. Fine. I will change and get ready for bed. Jungkook gave her an exaggerated bow. Vine walked toward the bathroom, but before she could close the door behind her, Jungkook's voice called out. Jungkook, don't take too long. I might get bored and find something fun to do other than teasing you. Vine huffed, shutting the door behind her. When she returned, the lights were dimmed, and Jungkook was already lying in bed, his back turned towards her. Vine felt a moment of relief that he wasn't being his actual annoying self. She climbed into the bed quietly, trying to avoid any more interaction. But just as she settled in, she felt his gaze on her. Jungkook, I don't bite. Vine's heart skipped a beat, but she didn't let it take control of her. Vine, I wasn't worried about that, she replied, turning her back towards him. Jungkook chuckled lightly. You say that now, but don't be surprised if you change your mind by morning. She gritted her teeth, trying to ignore him. Fine. Good night, Jungkook, she muttered, pulling the covers over her shoulders and closed her eyes. She closed her eyes, but she still smiled as she thought about spending the rest of her life with him. It might not be as bad as she thought, and for Jungkook, he knew that he would make her his one day. He kept smiling while looking at her until he slept.